Hello old school NBA fans, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to take a look at another all-time classic. We will feature the 1983 NBA All-Star Game. Back in the days when the NBA was competitive. True NBA superstars battling from bragging rights. Let's take a quick look at the rosters. So let's sit back and enjoy this classic. At the end of the video, we got more information for you.
Moses Malone, a member of the West team last year when he was with the Houston Rockets, now with the East, and of course the doctor. He is a fixture in the All-Star game. Julius Erving and Larry Bird, you're not going to see that any place but in this All-Star game, shaking hands going on the court with Isaiah Thomas. They worked out yesterday, Bill, and they all were having a good time, but that doesn't mean they're not going to play hard.
Well, you know, when they say have a good time, that doesn't mean goofing off. Having a good time is playing well. You know, and as this game starts, usually in All-Star games, everyone is very polite to the other guys. So no one wants to be the first guy that goes out there and throws it up. And so we'll see who will be the first player that will act rude.
We have our honorary captains, something that the NBA has instituted, and they're coming out now for the ceremonial toss. For the East squad, John Havlicek, 16 years with the Celtics, and Elgin Baylor, 14 years with the Lakers, played with them in Minneapolis and Los Angeles, and Havlicek with his back towards you. 13 straight All-Star games, a record. Hondo and Elgin Baylor, two of the greats, the honorary captains for this 33rd All-Star game. And so now we're ready. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will jump center against Moses Malone. And the tip is controlled by the West. And there's the Magic Man. Great passer. Team leader of the Lakers. Throws that one away.
You say great passer.
We're going to see it.
Hey, are you going to put bad luck on them?
I do usually when they're on the free throw line, not when they're passing. So Julius Erving and Larry Bird are the forwards. Bird is outside, guarded by Lucas. Isaiah Thomas with the first shot of the game. Isaiah Thomas, a raw rookie last year. Earlier on CBS Sports Sunday, talked about how he threw up an air ball from the free throw line. Thomas has emerged as a fine point guard. Now Lucas turn around over Larry Bird hit. Maurice Lucas, a great story going from the Knicks to Phoenix for Truck Robinson and really turning Phoenix into a strong team. The Doc inside. What a move quickly.
Well, you know, the difference in the All-Star games are guys that call on to do different things than they normally do. Like Isaiah Thomas does most of the feeding. And as it is, he may end up getting a lot of open shots because he doesn't have to do the same thing for this team that he does for the Pistons, for example.
They've got two point guards or playmaking guards in Cheeks and Thomas. And, of course, we may not see both of them in there together long. Larry Bird into Moses Malone. There's a pairing. They could meet in the championship this year. Larry Bird with a fine drive down the middle. MVP last year. Bird trying to save it, and here come to the East. The Doc in open court. Cheeks. Goaltending charge against David Thompson. And Larry Bird picking up where he left off.
Just an example of the kind of players you have in this game. These guys, this is the first player, he's up in the stands. Because they want to beat each other.
David Thompson missing outside. Here's Julius Erving, outlet to Bird. Picked up quickly by Thompson. In the Moses Malone. Still East ball. You'll see in Moses Malone, who was the MVP in the league last year, the relentless offensive rebounder. He'll tip in missed shots. He is the best offensive rebounder in the game's history, perhaps. Isaiah Thomas feeding Bird. Kareem kept it alive, but Erving. Julius's foul going in, and we're seeing his repertoire early here.
I think he was a bit serious about that one. He knew the big guy was going to be there when he got there.
Foul is on Kareem, his first personal foul, and Julius Erving going to the line. Top vote getter, over 700,000 votes, 11th in scoring in the league. 12 years an All-Star, first 5 in the ABA. Never won a title, though, in the NBA, and that's something he might do this year.
I think they expect to.
You never know when you get to the playoffs, though, and the best 4 out of 7. So the East has moved out to an 8-point lead. As Bill Russell said, the defense and the physical aspects paying off. Inside, David Thompson. Thompson may feel he has something to prove. A lot of people think that perhaps he didn't deserve the fans' vote. Good drive by Isaiah Thomas, penetrating nicely. So the second-year player from the Detroit Pistons comes back. Look at Magic Johnson. It counts in a foul.
Now this is Magic.
Over Larry Bird, and the foul is on Bird. He missed the free throw. It's 12-6. With 9.5 minutes gone by or remaining in this first period, Larry Bird throws it right to Kareem. And here is Thompson, and it's intercepted by Thomas. Waits for his teammates, and now Kareem picks it off. The East is back on defense. Here's the Magic again. It's 2-on-1 with Malone and Irving.
Great defensive play by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
David Thompson. And the West comes within 4 of the East now. The set play, they worked on a few of the plays yesterday afternoon. I'm amazed at the instincts that they pass as well as they do, having only had one workout. Isaiah Thomas from the corner hits his second shot. He has 6 points in the game. 8:35 remaining in the first period. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell sit back and enjoy the best athletes perhaps in the world, the NBA All-Star. Alex English, the leading scorer of the NBA, shows why. He's averaging nearly 30 points a game this year. Maurice Cheeks, smart playmaker, good defensive guard. Bird coming around a screen. Loops it to Malone. Watch Malone in here. See the second effort.
That was just a great pass that Larry Bird made to Moses Malone on that, and Moses, he naturally knows what to do when he gets it in there.
Thompson has the ball stripped away by Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird. 2-on-1 again with Mo Cheeks. Back to Bird. Larry Bird, Rookie of the Year, 1980, led the Celtics to a championship the next year. Alex English. Kareem out of nowhere. Comes right back for 2. And it's an 18-12 game, the East leading. 7.5 minutes to go in the first. West trying to break a 3-game East winning streak in this All-Star game.
And we've seen some outstanding defensive plays early in the game.
Cheeks working against Thompson. He got a good step on Thompson. Blocking the shot is Alex English. It's a 4-on-2 break. Lucas gives it up to Irvin Johnson. Lost control of the ball, and now the East comes back 2-on-1. Kareem, the only one back. And Kareem out to the top. Simple as that. Lucas from the corner. End-to-end action again, 2-on-1. Kareem, the only one back. Beating Isaiah Thomas. No basket. No basket. And it's going to be West-East ball. And we are seeing Kareem challenge 2 against 1. Isaiah
Kareem knows what to do with it when he's challenged, too.
Timeout. 6:48 remaining in the first period. Isaiah, the playmaker.
For you. U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. And by Ryder. Ryder leases trucks and Ryder rents trucks. Local and one-way for business or to move it yourself.
Dick Stockton and Bill Russell back at the Forum in Inglewood. The shooting percentages are out of sight, but we've seen some good defense, Bill.
I think we've seen some outstanding defense. For the West, Kareem has just been unbelievable. And that's the kind of stuff he gives to the Lakers. That's what makes him so valuable to them.
And also making the Lakers a valuable performer, end-to-end play by Magic Johnson. He can dish it off, he can thread the needle, or take it all the way as he did there. And it's an 18-14 game, so the West trailing by 4. East has been shooting over 60%, the West over 50. And we'll have a foul call against the West All-Stars. It's against Alex English from the Denver Nuggets, who's in his second All-Star game. Commissioner Larry O'Brien, Lawrence Weinberg, the chairman of the board, Sidney Moncrief has come in for the East All-Stars, and George Gervin for the West. So the Iceman is in there. We can expect some prolific scoring and shooting from Gervin. Isaiah Thomas. Here's Moncrief, the do-it-all guard for Milwaukee. Bird, the best outside shooter on the Boston Celtics, and it's a 6-point East lead, and we're halfway through this opening period.
And I expected a good game. I didn't expect it to be this good this early.
You think the politeness is worn off? Gervin.
Oh, yes.
There's the skyhook. Artis Gilmore told me the one thing he admires more than anything else on any player is the fact that Kareem can do the skyhook so efficiently. No one else does it well. He's tried it. Hasn't worked. Thomas with his 8th point of the game. Alex English. Off Bird's hand, so it's still West ball, and now we have 2 more substitutes coming in. On the right, Marcus Johnson of the Milwaukee Bucks, and Jamal Wilkes of the Los Angeles Lakers gets a hand. Julius Erving goes out. He scored 4 points, but what an acrobat he's been.
And I think we're seeing the good defense on the East squad. Because when the West squad gets inside, they're not getting a good shot off.
Give and go. Magic follow-up.
Just as I said that, they got a layup.
Mayor Tom Bradley of Los Angeles. George Gervin picks it off. So there we're seeing West with the defensive play, trying to come within 2 points. And a steal the other way by Isaiah Thomas. He has Moncrief. Kareem back. Up. And it's Thomas. Good play.
Isaiah protected the ball with his body. Got up in the air and then did a good job of putting his body in where so Kareem couldn't go over his shoulder and get it.
He's got 10 points on 5 for 6 shooting. A far cry from his nervousness of last year. Isaiah Thomas. The Pistons fighting for a playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. That basket will count by Maurice Lucas. And the foul is on Larry Bird, his 2nd personal foul. So here's Lucas going to the line. He went from the Knicks for Truck Robinson to Phoenix. He's known as the enforcer and has made a tremendous difference on this Suns team.
Yes, he has given them something that they've never had. They've always gone with what you call a relatively small lineup, and he's given them bulk and strength and made them a physical team, and they're a much better team. And in fact, if the trades they've made lately work out, they will move into the upper echelon with the good teams.
Jack Sikma coming into the ball game, replacing Maurice Lucas, and Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics gives Moses Malone a rest. So both squads, both coaches using their players, at least in the first half. Almost a steal by Moncrief. Cunningham said of the East, going to use everyone in the first half, see which combinations and which players are playing better, and use them in the second half of the game. And I think that both of these coaches will use their own players down the stretch.
Well, they can't lose a lot by doing that.
Gervin with a 5-point. George Gervin, the leading scorer in the league last year, won more scoring titles than anyone but Will Chamberlain in NBA history. Larry Bird, long range. He's got 8 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds.
Not bad first quarter, not starting an all-star game.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Sikma turn around. Nice play. Sikma from Wilkes. And now they're down to only a 2-point lead, the East team. 3:45 to go in the first period. Last year's game was 2 points. Marcus Johnson going inside. Rebound. Milwaukee.
And Kareem made him miss that shot, the initial shot. He got the rebound, but the presence of Kareem and the way he's playing today made him miss that shot.
Several UCLA players. Kareem and Marcus Johnson, 2 of them. And a foul against the Eastern Stars. Foul was on Sidney Moncrief. Artis Gilmore has come in. Larry Bird goes out of the game. He's off to a terrific start with 8 points. Buck Williams replaces him, the fine power forward of the New Jersey Nets, and here is the Iceman on the line. MVP in 1980, Artis Gilmore went from the Chicago Bulls to San Antonio, and the Spurs have opened up a 4.5 game lead in the Midwest Division.
You know, with him going from Chicago to San Antonio, he's given San Antonio that they're back to having what they call that Bruise Brothers front line, that big, strong, tough front line, and they're tough. With George Gervin shooting outside, and he's a pretty effective player inside, so that he's really helped San Antonio.
Parrish looking for help over Artis Gilmore. I'll tell you, don't be surprised, because Robert Parrish may be the best outside shooting big man in the game. The Chief, they call him, from the Boston Celtics, and the East is up by 4. Here's a steal. Moncrief trailing is Parrish. And we'll have a foul first. Moncrief, Billy Cunningham, 3-0 in all-star coaching. Recently won his 300th game, faster than anyone in the history of the NBA. How's Larry Bird played so far? Pretty good, 8 points.
It's been, for me, an exciting game so far, because you know they're going to go back and forth. And it's just a question of which team is going to be able to dominate. At this point, they've gone back and forth so far. But I think that one thing that we should notice, that Kareem kept the West in the game the first quarter.
Pat Riley, first complete year as coach of the Lakers, coached them to the championship last year. Second all-star appearance, however. There's George Gervin out to Gus Williams, who's come in the game.
And said, look what I found.
And so did Gervin. Look what I found. A good pass from Gus. So let's check the lineups for you. Andrew Toney, 22, and Moncrief, 4 are the guards. Moncrief from Milwaukee, Toney from Philadelphia. Tremendous offensive player, clutch shooter. Moncrief does everything. Into Parrish from the Celtics. Gilmore defending him, and there's Parrish up top again. Boy, does he arc that jump shot.
And Art Gilmore saying, how the heck is he making that?
7-point lead
defense
for the East team. Their biggest lead was 8. Winding down to 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Gus Williams from the Seattle Sonics scored 22 last year. Gilmore loses it out of bounds. So Moncrief, Toney, Buck Williams, Marcus Johnson, and Robert Parrish. So we have 2 members of the Milwaukee Bucks in the lineup. Williams is on Toney. Gervin is on Moncrief. Sikma defending against Buck Williams, and a turnover. 2-on-2. Gus. Jamal Wilkes. And Parrish knocks it out of bounds, so it's still going to be the West ball. Robert Parrish from the Boston Celtics.
You know, I told him that there's no way a guy that tall is supposed to shoot that well from that far out.
Buck Williams with a lead pass to Moncrief. Sikma back. Sidney Moncrief, the player that the Milwaukee Bucks depend on the most. He leads them in just about every category. Named to the all-defensive team. Biggest lead right now by the East team is 9. Gilmore, foul. Parrish.
You know, if you have to dunk around here, these guys say you better hurry up and do it, because you take your time, block shot.
The East bench with Larry Bird, Mo Cheeks on the right, and Artis Gilmore on the line shooting 2. Personal foul was on Parrish. Team fouls, 4 for the East, 3 for the West. So 1 more foul on the East squad, and they'll be in the penalty. Andrew Toney. Johnson looking for his teammate, out to Buck Williams. Buck Williams has emerged, maybe the prototype power forward of the game. Open is Andrew, and he's hot. Look at the pass to Buck Williams, who gets fouled going in. Andrew Toney, known for his scoring and his clutch shooting ability, with a fine feed inside to Buck Williams, who goes to the line.
That's what great all-star games bring out. Guys that you think of primarily as shooters, you find out they're pretty good defensive players, and they're good passers.
Buck
because
Williams.
the requirements are different.
Rookie of the year last year in the NBA. He's developed into outstanding power forward. Missed the second, but the East has possession with 46 seconds to go. Double teaming Andrew Toney. Buck Williams was wide open, passed it anyway. Turn around by Marcus Johnson. Sigma outfights Buck Williams. They mean it.
And he can rebound too.
Pick off by Toney. Lead pass to Sidney Moncrief. Basket is good and a foul
By Jack Sigma. As Sidney Moncrief said, take this large person.
Sidney Moncrief is only 6'4", but when he plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, he takes those guards inside. He is a tough inside player. He can leap. So he said all defensive team. And this year, Don Nelson said he's got the better outside shot he's seen.
Well, you know what? There are a few guys that come into the league and they get better because they work on their weaknesses. Now, as a guard, he was not a good outside shooter when he came to the league. And now he's a good one. Not a great one, but a good outside shooter. And those are the kind of things that professionals have to work at. You can't just say, well, I got a weakness here, and I'm not going to do anything about it.
Long range, Jamal Willis. Quietly, during the regular year, he'll score 20 points. 4 seconds to go in this first quarter. And it's Andrew Toney hitting the shot. It's good at the buzzer. A 2-point shot. And we have seen terrific action. And at the end of the first period, here in the 33rd All-Star game, 42-31 the East. Their biggest lead. The other Milwaukee star, 1-2 punch. Didn't do as well last year because of a contract dispute, but he's picked up where he's left off. He leads in rebounds, assists, and scoring on the Milwaukee team.
You know, he doesn't get as much publicity as some of the other forwards, but if you talk to the players, they all tell you that this guy is impossible because he's a good outside shooter. He goes strong to the hoop. He's a good defensive player.
Dick Stockton and Bill Russell, who played in 12 All-Star games, and there was Toney to Buck Williams on a fine play, and there's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A poignant story concerning Kareem's personal life. A fire destroyed his home the last couple of weeks, so we'll tell you more about it and what has transpired since then. Gus Williams misses outside. Look at him dive for the loose ball, and it's Buck Williams to Toney. 2-on-2. Toney, Buck Williams. That combination works.
I guess it works.
You know, Buck Williams is going to own that inside paint. And offensively, he shows something. 15-point lead as the East opening it up here. Iceman finds Gilmore. Gets 2 back. Leading scorers in the game, Isaiah Thomas 10 and Larry Bird 8 for the East squad. And for the West, Magic Johnson and George Gervin each with 6. Wide open was Marcus Johnson.
And Andrew Toney has shown some of his qualities as a passer.
It's not just Moses Malone and Julius Erving on that Philadelphia team. Going for the steal was Moncrief, but Gervin controlled. Picked up on a nice switch by Marcus Johnson, and Gervin short. Good defense by Marcus Johnson, and we'll have a jump ball.
You know, Andrew Toney seems to be a one-on-one player, but he's a better passer than most people think he is. But first of all, he's physically a very tough young man. He's faster than he looks, and he jumps higher. And so he can get his shots off because he's deceptive.
Jim Paxson, number 4, is into the game for the Portland Trail Blazers and the West squad. And for the East, Reggie Theus of the Chicago Bulls, number 24. Gilmore comes in and fouls Buck Williams. Andrew Toney, you're right, just made another fine pass.
And what happened was he went by Gus Williams, who is probably one of the, if not the fastest player in the league.
Toney has 3 assists as Gus of the Seattle Sonics. They started off 12-0 this year and have slumped and are in 4th place in the Pacific Division.
They had a few key injuries, and then, you know, what happened, they had a few key injuries, and then they started playing. All the teams have up and downs where things work and don't work, and they had the key injuries at just the wrong time for them because they're still a good basketball team.
16-point lead with 10.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Gus Williams to Jim Paxson. Gilmore has a shot blocked by Robert Parrish, and it is still West ball, but Parrish blocked Gilmore. 2 7-footers going up.
And what I was talking about earlier in the game about the defense, I think you'll find more good defensive players in the East squad than you will on the West squad. But I think you find more. Well, huh? Better shut that up. But you find better shooters on the West squad, I believe.
It's a tough shot to stop, though, isn't it, Artist? I would think. I mean, you didn't even let anyone get in there when you played to get that close for that shot.
There were a couple that got in there.
That's it, too. Marcus Johnson going to the hoop. Oh. Good move. And the rebound, Sikma. Here's Jamal Wicks with Gus Williams. But the pass is not a good one. It's behind him. And Andrew Toney comes back for the East with Paxson in front. Jim Paxson, a good all-around player who can move without the ball, does a lot of things, and he can shoot.
You know, I played against his father in college and with his father on an all-star team.
He played in the 50s with Minneapolis and Cincinnati.
He's one of the few players. And here's another one, Kiki Vandeweghe, that's the father's son that played in the NBA.
Talk about a dad. What about Kiki Vandeweghe, who's going to be coming into the game in a moment? But we've been watching a lot of Andrew Toney, who's one of the prolific clutch scorers in the NBA.
And he does a lot of things for that Philadelphia team.
9:30 remaining in the first half. 14-point lead for the East, 49-35. Reggie Theus of the Chicago Bulls takes a long shot, a two-pointer, and the rebound is by Kiki Vandeweghe, whose dad played with the New York Knicks in the professional ranks.
And he passed to Jim Paxson, whose father played for the Minneapolis Lakers, which are now the Los Angeles Lakers.
The two players, his dads, played in professional basketball in the lineup together. 9:10 to go.
And the other one was Matt Gutkus.
Right. Assistant coach for the East. The West has turned the ball over 11 times, and that's hurt their cause. Now the East for the 5th turnover. And coming into the game for the first time, Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer, in his very first All-Star game 3 years ago, was playing in Italy. Didn't think he could play professional basketball. A third-round draft choice of Cleveland. His first full year with Detroit, and a very tough banger inside. Third top rebounder in the NBA.
And he's another one of those guys that will let you know he's there, hit you a little bit, push you a little bit. But then these are some of the guys that make the Eastern Conference so physical.
Here's Kiki Vandeweghe. He originally was with Dallas and come to Denver and has become a part of the very tough front court of the Denver Nuggets. He is the 3rd leading scorer in the NBA, Kiki Vandeweghe. Played at UCLA, and now it's a 13-point East lead, 49-36. 8:45 remaining. Feed to Marcus Johnson from Toney. Chipped up. Look at the second effort by Marcus Johnson, playing like a man possessed, Bill.
He plays that way on a regular basis. And this is what I was talking about when I said the other players, the other forwards especially, tell you what a tough guy he is, because he's a good offensive rebounder. He's a more than adequate defensive rebounder, but when he's in the front court, he's just dangerous everywhere.
Artis Gilmore has 2 personal fouls. Larry Bird on the East, who's on the bench, has 2. And Marcus Johnson with the free throw. East is up by 14 points. The biggest lead, 16, as they open it up early. Crowd here at the Forum, obviously rooting for the West. Kiki Vandeweghe looking to Artis Gilmore, who's played a lot so far in this game. And the foul on the pass, not in the act of shooting. And the foul is on Bill Laimbeer of the Detroit Pistons in the East squad.
That was a quarter of a ton of action there, Laimbeer and Gilmore.
Vandeweghe. Good move on Marcus Johnson. Sikma puts it in. Sikma's been out with an ankle injury, and that's one of the reasons, as you talked about, the injuries that have really set back the Seattle Sonics from their hot start. Paxson is on Theus. Andrew Toney guarded by Williams. It's a 12-point game. The East squad leading. They have a 21-11 series lead. Marcus Johnson misses the shot. Vandeweghe to Paxson. Williams ahead of the crowd. And it's going to count. Called the basket. Give it to Gus Williams, and Marcus Johnson called for the goaltend.
Now here's this play. Now Gus Williams is one of the greatest players in the open court. And here comes Marcus Johnson right there. But Gus is going to almost dunk it. Hate little guys do things like that.
Down to 10. Who was the best player in the open court you've ever seen?
Well, Gus may be one of them. I don't remember seeing anyone any better except maybe Julius.
Buck Williams, not an open court player, but tough inside, has his 8th point of the ball game, and a 12-point game again. Gus Williams using his teammate Sikma for a screen, and 2 hoops in a row for Gus. Andrew Toney, Williams looking for the steal. And Gus fouls it.
And those are some of the things that Andrew Toney does. He gives good fakes, and he's such a good shooter outside that you have to go up on him. And then he gives a good fake, and if you don't react, he'll shoot it. If you do react, he gives you the up and down.
All right, the West as Gus, Williams, Sigma, and Gilmore go out, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes back in for the West All-Stars. Julius Erving is back in for the East team. Here's Kareem. Into Lane Beer. And a long-range Andrew Toney. That's what you got to do. And you play him tight, he'll go around you. He's strong inside, too.
That's right. I mean, he has a great first step. And that's the key to driving with the ball, is that first step.
7 minutes to go in the first half. 54-42, the East All-Stars lead. There's a Magic Johnson pass to Jim Paxton. That's what I meant by threading the needle.
Not only that, it was a good pass, too.
Toney and Magic Johnson intercepts Paxton to Kiki Vandeweghe. And the West coming back, down by 8. This guy's making it happen. Irvin Johnson. 2 championships in his 3 years in the NBA. 1 year he didn't win. He was hurt. He is way off the mark, an air ball, and the West has it again. And they want a timeout. The East wants to call time, and when we come back, Larry Bird will be coming in the game too. So they're going to try and fight the East rally with the great Boston Celtics star. But Gus Williams, as you mentioned, the great open court performer for the Seattle Sonics.
Now, Gus has done a lot of things for the Sonics, and this is just a couple of them. He knows when to zing the ball and when to throw it like a good quarterback. He's a great passer.
6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. All-round game as usual for Irvin Magic Johnson. Maurice Lucas turning around over Larry Bird, and the East lead is sliced to 6 now as we're nearly halfway through the second period. Irving shot is blocked, and Lane Beer comes in with the play. Lucas, I believe, got a piece of Irving's shot, and Lane Beer following up nicely. In his first All-Star game representing the Detroit Pistons, Paxson from Portland Trailblazers working on Andrew Toney uses Lucas as a screen. Good kick by Lucas.
And a great 360.
Maurice Lucas, the enforcer, setting a screen out there. He's watching Larry Bird. He'll be banging a little bit. Lane Beer, who can set some screens, does it for Reggie Theus. Bird, Theus, block. Lucas with the block, and here comes the West 3-on-2. Magic Johnson. And he couldn't get it inside, but they maintain the ball.
I think he got a good fake defensively on that play because he was trying to set up the pass, and the defensive guy did a stunt there.
Isaiah Thomas is coming back. How's the game? Does the game change at all in the pace, trend, what have you?
Well, as these guys get used to each other offensively and relax a little more, they start to do things to help each other out.
Bad pass by Paxson, and Larry Bird will get an easy play.
Doesn't need much help on that. But again, a good defense causes a lot of those bad passes. And another steal.
West is getting careless. They came within 6, down by 8, could be 10. With 5 minutes remaining in the first half. 13 turnovers by the West All-Stars, and it is a 10-point game as Isaiah Thomas drives inside. Isaiah with 12 points is the high scorer in the ballgame. He has missed just 1 shot in 7 tries.
You know, I was talking to Isaiah, and he says, I keep saying I got a lot to learn. I got so much to learn. I says, Isaiah, you can do a little teaching.
So can this man. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son, Sasha. They're going to jump it. It'll be Thomas and Vandeweghe, and coming into the game for the Western All-Stars will be Alex English on the left from the Denver Nuggets, and David Thompson, who used to play for Denver, now with Seattle. Thompson will come in. The knee is acting up again for David.
And that's one of the things you don't know whether they're rested or exercising.
Lane Beer keeps it for the East. Thomas with a good step on Thompson. Julius Erving. Kiki Vandeweghe clogs him. Lucas on Bird. Theus fighting terrifically for the loose ball, and it's off the hands of Erving.
And great pass. 2 great passes.
Let's not forget Reggie Theus at this end, because he hustled terrifically, even though they didn't get the bucket.
And that was a great pass that he made. And there was also a good outlet pass by Kareem to look up court.
60-54, the East up by 6 now. 3:50 to go in the first half. Bird has Lane Beer as a screen, coming off it. Theus, magic on Theus. Bird in the crowd, throws it away. Banned away, and Julius Erving banging each other coming in. Let's watch Theus at the other end of the court moments ago, the great Chicago Bull guard.
Right now, he hustles here to get the ball. There, he steals there. Now, watch the pass that he makes. He controls it left-handed. And then this is that pass by Kareem. Money in the bank.
Julius Erving committed the foul. The West has the ball with 3.5 minutes remaining. Each team with 3 team fouls. Lane Beer, look at the pass. Kareem to David Thompson. That's the kind of offense he provides, and he doesn't always have to score to provide it. 60-56. They're within 4 now, closest they've been since early in the game. They were down by 16. Lane Beer having trouble. And the West can come within 2. Thompson, English. And the combination of Lucas, Alex English, Magic Johnson, and Kareem have been the key to the comeback here. 2:51 showing on the clock. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When we come back, we'll tell you the story of the tough 2 weeks he's had, starting in his 5th All-Star game in a row. Wednesday night, he passed the 29,000 career point mark, second only Wilt Chamberlain. But a station here in Los Angeles changed its music format and gave him the entire jazz library. He says, I am amazed at what people have responded and how they've responded to my tragedy, so to speak. And he has gotten a kind of new respect for a lot of people. He's always been portrayed as a villain in a lot of respects before this, and I think he's seeing how things have changed, Phil. Here's Magic. English.
Yes, when you have adversity, a lot of times you find out how much people really like you, because he's one of the nicest people I've ever met anywhere. You know, and he's a little reserved, but when you're that tall, seriously, people say so many strange things to you during a lifetime, you get to be a little reserved.
Turquoise Erving, her husband, just came up with one of his patented shots. Here is another.
And a good steal by Isaiah Thomas. He's an outstanding defensive player.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, and Alex English has picked up 8 points in a hurry here. It is 64-62. The East leading by 2. The West down by 16 at one point in this first half. Have come back. Moses Malone with his version of the sky hook. You don't often see him try that.
Well, Kareem will bring out the best in everybody.
64-62. Kareem looking for someone to cut off of him. Bird double teaming, and it might have worked. Watch Julius Erving on the open court. You talked about it before.
Now here he comes in. Their imagination and creativity.
Dexterity by Julius. That shot by Lucas off the side of the backboard. Isaiah Thomas with Julius and Malone trailing. And they'll call a foul on David Thompson, and Moses Malone will go to the line and shoot. Malone, the MVP in the NBA last year, acquired from the Houston Rockets by the Sixers for Caldwell Jones. He's looking for his 3rd straight NBA rebounding title. He's 6th in the league in scoring. Philadelphia is 43-7, could have their best record of all time. Malone, a big part of it. And he works so hard that everyone else on that Philadelphia club has to work just as hard, because no one wants to do any less than this guy with all his millions.
You know, you hear that a lot of times people think that if you pay a guy a lot of money, it takes away his incentive. Well, you got a group of guys out here today that makes that just completely untrue.
1:10 to go in the first half. A lot coming up for you at halftime. Alex English and Bird the rebound. Trying to make it a 5-point lead. Isaiah Thomas playing a fine first half. Bird gets the offensive rebound, and 2 players on the same team fight for the loose ball, and it's East possession. Thomas with 12, Bird 10. The top scorers for the East squad. No one is in double figures for the West. Alex English and David Thompson each have 8 points. 51 seconds to go, and Bird. Boy, that sound going through the cords. Beautiful, huh? 7 rebounds for Larry Bird. And the East makes it a 7-point lead. Malone.
I think Julius knows how to get a good shot for the big fella.
7-point lead. English comes back with 2. 25 seconds. 69-64. No harm, no foul, I guess you call it. They're going to play for the last shot. 15 seconds to go.
And Maurice Cheeks doesn't talk enough to complain to the referee. He never says anything.
Cheeks driving. Irving and Kareem. Look at these 2 great players in an all-star game fighting for a loose ball with 3 seconds to go, out of bounds. They'll give it to the East with 3 seconds to go.
You know, there are a lot of guys. Here's that shot when Julius made the pass to Moses.
Well, that's one of the good advantages of having 4 players, as the Sixers do, on their team. The last time we had 4 players on the same squad, the Celtics, in 1975. Paul Silas, John Havlicek, JoJo White, and Dave Cowan. At the half, we'll take you live into both dressing rooms. And to see what the coaches have to say to their players, we'll look at the headlines from the first half of the season and Men's World Speed Skating Championship. Brent Musburger will be with us as well from New York. So you'll hear briefly what the way it shapes up now. Washington, New York, Detroit, and Atlanta fighting for 2 playoff berths. That would have gone. Everyone would have just stopped in their tracks. Larry Bird misses. The East went out to an early 10-2 lead, led by as many as 16. The West battled back to tie it at 60, but the East rallied and have taken a 69-64 lead at halftime here at the 33rd All-Star Game in Inglewood.
Hey NBA fans, for more vintage NBA content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. NBA at its best. Thank you.
Julius Irving, Andrew Toney, Buck Williams, Michael Ray Richardson, and the Nets. Meanwhile, we're underway in the second half of this 33rd All-Star Game, and on a turnover, the West coming back with Gus Williams. Gus Williams pulls up over Isaiah Thomas, misses, and Larry Bird. Good position for the rebound. Lead
Good
pass
fake
to Thomas.
Good fake by Larry Bird. Because Gus Williams filled the passing lane there to try to steal the ball, and he gave him a good fake and then lobbed it over to Isaiah Thomas, which is an outstanding play.
Bird and Irving at forward. The dock is short. Malone there. Talk about getting offensive rebounds and fighting his way in. Malone will go to the line. So it's Bird and Irving up front. Malone the center. Isaiah Thomas at guard, along with Sidney Moncrief. For the West, they're going with Gus Williams and George Gervin at guard. Artis Gilmore, Jack Sikma, who's playing a forward position, and Kiki Vandeweghe.
You know, it may be difficult for Moses to have an outstanding all-star game because of the way he plays. A lot of things he does, these other guys' skills overlap in an all-star game. But for his team that he plays for, he is so much better than most of us thought because he can adjust to what his team needs. He's quite adaptable as a player.
Sikma brings the West to within 5, and now the West can come within 3, and they should. Gus Williams with the block behind him, and Julius Irving knocks it away. He saved the basket, and now he saves Gus Williams. A tremendous defensive play by Julius.
He had that all the way. He had it all the way. See, he's watching him. There. Great play.
Example
you
of
don't see that very much. Chasing the guy.
The defensive people you were talking about. Larry Bird leaks it up. Moncrief. Julius. Five-point lead. Julius Irving can smile off Sikma. Picked up by Moncrief. Basket hanging is the doctor. 10 for Irving. Bird leads with 12, and so does Isaiah Thomas have 12 points. Opening minute and a half of the third period, and a steal by Moncrief. He has shown well in this game. Julius gets it back to Bird. Tough pass. Bird to Malone. Not this time. Gilmore. Thomas and Bird with 12 points. Irving has 10 for the East. Alex English, the leading scorer for the West, with 10. Thompson has 8, but Kareem has had an outstanding game. Not starting this second half, Isaiah Thomas. He may be playing the best of any of them.
Well, he and Bird both. Now, that was just a nice play by Larry Bird. He could dunk that very easily, and he just gave it because Isaiah had a half a step on him. He gave it up.
So Isaiah Thomas has 14 points, 7 for 9 shooting, and 4 steals, and Bird has 7 rebounds. So far, Bird is looking good as Isaiah Thomas is. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the West. Long way to go, however. Kiki Vandeweghe misses the shot. The rebound, Moses Malone. 9:35 to go in the third period. 75-66, a 9-point lead for the East Stars. And turns it over off the shoe of Malone, and here comes the West.
And looked a little bit like Pele on that play.
Gilmore. Gus Williams. Julius took it right out of Moncrief's hand. Lead pass to Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah, what a pass to Moncrief for a save and a basket. Wow.
Sidney Moncrief.
How about Isaiah Thomas with a save?
And a great pass.
Moncrief has hit his last 4 shots.
Now the pass was a little long for Isaiah Thomas, but he went in there, made it Sidney, and this is a play with the big guy there. Good body control. 3-point play. Take that, big guy.
Gilmore with 3 personal fouls, 78-66. Up by 12 again. The East biggest lead was 16 in the first half. The West came back to tie it at 60. They outscored 18-6. Gilmore double team. Tipped up by Sigma. Keeping it alive, the West. But now it's a 3-on-1 break with Irving. Malone. He doesn't need Malone.
Take that, little guy. I love it.
They fly, don't they? Vandeweghe pops from outside. And the pass again. Vandeweghe knocks it away and perhaps saves a basket with Irving going for
Definitely saved the basket.
Magic Johnson will come back in the ball game. And Gus Williams goes out. Magic is in. That's the man they want to see here at the Forum in Inglewood. East has won the last 3 All-Star games. The Doc, his teammate Moses Malone. Short. And the Doc. How did he get in there?
Wasn't easy.
Bird fires back and it was deflected and picked off by Gervin.
Good idea.
Bird again. Watch the pass to Irving. 2-on-1 again with Gilmore back. Ball and it counts.
Larry Bird get out that pass to the Doc in the front court. And here he comes. Okay, big guy, get ready for this. Oh, that's me.
The starting forwards, 2 brilliant performers for their respective clubs. The foul on Gilmore, his 4th personal foul. Kareem has replaced him at center. Irving now has 15 points and is the leading scorer in the game. He has won 1 MVP award back in '77. His son would like him to win another one. His sons are all here.
They like the way the trophy looks.
Magic misses outside. Malone. Isaiah Thomas. 2 more. And the East is showing their speed and strength. Thomas with 16 and the West calls a timeout.
And the difference again, as we said earlier, was going to be the defense. And the East is playing outstanding defense.
Biggest lead of the ball game right now with that basket by Thomas. 17-point lead, 85-68. We have 7:43 remaining in this third period. The East has outscored the West 16-4 this half. Opened up 85-68 lead. And let's see if Kareem and company can come back. There's a start as going inside Magic Johnson is fouled.
What Pat Riley's trying to do now is get back in his ball game. And what he's going to do is set up the guys that he has. He has a good fast break team, but he also has a good half-court offensive team. When you have Kareem in the lineup, you always have a good half-court offense. But he's got Vandeweghe and Gerving and Magic, who are good on the open court, those 3 guys. So that Now they'll have to buckle up defensively. But that's what they're going to have to try to get back in this game.
And they're going to need Magic Johnson in there, particularly. Gervin for his scoring proficiency. Moncrief missing outside, but Isaiah Thomas is there with a pass into Moncrief. It's tipped away on a fine defensive maneuver, and it's Gervin. Oh, across the line. Wisely, they let it wait. 15-point lead for the East, and the West trying to come back with Sikma, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kiki Vandeweghe.
That's that instant offense that they're going to use. See, if you can get an instant offense, it's called an easy shot like that, you can really bear down defensively. It's much easier.
Vandeweghe, 7 points in the game. Told you about his father, former NBA star, mother's former Miss America. Thomas on a roll. He's got it in the foul. So Isaiah Thomas now has 18 points in the game on 9 of 11 shooting. The Western honorary captain for the Western Conference, Elgin Baylor. How good?
How good in his playoff final game, he got 61 against us. We put everybody, then we had to call the Boston police. That didn't help either.
Did he have moves or what?
And he could shoot at the end of the move. That's what made it so tough.
6:35 remaining. Sikma very tough facing the basket. Not that time. Julius Erving looks down court. Great court sense. Moncrief blows it up. Feeding Erving. It was blocked inside. Magic Johnson didn't have possession. Didn't walk. Kareem back to Sikma. Kareem should have taken the shot, but he saw Sikma on the right corner of his eye coming in, and now it's 88-74.
The good defensive players will make you pass the ball no matter who you are. Good. Okay, let's go back.
Larry Bird looking into Moses Malone. You can see Sikma double teaming Malone every time the ball goes in there. Bird. 5 seconds on the 24-second shot clock, and there's Isaiah Thomas. He's everywhere with that loose ball. And there's Vandeweghe trying for the steal. Doesn't work. Malone into Moncrief. Now blocked. Kareem got a hand on it, and Gervin picked it up, but he was standing out of bounds, so it'll be East ball. And coming back in, David Thompson, number 45, and going out is George Gervin.
You remember yesterday, Dick, at practice how these guys were smiling and having a good time? Look at them now. Nobody's smiling.
That's right. That's right. I guess all the fun part is worn off.
Well, this is fun, but they're serious as a heart attack.
Moses Malone with a turnaround jumper. 9 points for Malone. 5.5 minutes remaining. Third period. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell. 33rd annual NBA All-Star game. Kareem. That wasn't a skyhook. That was just a simple jump shot from the baseline.
He has worked very hard the last 3 years on that jump shot to make it a very integral and consistent part of his offense.
Julius comes back with one outside.
And so has he.
We have 5:08 to go, and the East already has scored 92 points. I suspect a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, they're going to have to crank it up, though.
Kareem has not missed yet. He's 5 for 5. It's Malone and Kareem, and don't forget, if Philadelphia plays L.A. in the championship, because Boston fans are saying, hey, wait. He'll go at it then. Erving, 2 in a row outside for the Doctor. He has 19 now. Magic Johnson double team.
Isaiah again.
3-on-1. Bird.
Oh, take that.
He banked it in. Larry Bird. 14 points. Everyone's down there for the East. Moncrief. This is showtime. Malone fouled by Thompson. Tommy Heinsohn doing the radio broadcast.
You know, in Tommy's first All-Star game, it was in Boston, and he went 17 for 20.
Is that right?
He got the ball 20 times and shot at 17. He says, I'm a shooter. I'm not trying to fool anybody. I shoot.
That's why they called him Tommy Gun. Tommy Gun. Well, here's Moses Malone.
But, you know, he made 7 of those 17 shots. But there have been some guys that had long nights. In the game in 61, Heine went, that's what we call him, 2 for 16.
Yeah.
And Dave DeBusschere, persistent as ever. In 1966, he went 1 for 14.
Oh, any other one?
Well, in the game in 77, George Gervin missed 6. He said, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Those are some of the less sterling performances. Maurice Cheeks is in the game. Quiet, type, tough playmaker. They double team Malone, leaving Larry Bird open.
That could be a mistake.
Rebound is Maurice Lucas. 3:40 remaining in the third period. 97-78. Wilkes comes
And
in.
there's that Magic Jamal combination. These guys have ESP.
That's
They
a
work so well
combination.
together. It's unbelievable.
Bird on a running shot. Bird again. Malone. Buck Williams. Well, Magic Johnson and Jamal Wilkes have performed. Wilkes knows Magic's moves. He gets free, and the way Magic can thread the pass, like you said, with the velocity and the spin and so forth.
You know, Jamal says that it's eerie. That it's sometimes kind of scary because he's always looking around him because he doesn't know if Magic's going to pass to him. Even there, not on the court, in the dressing room, he thinks sometimes.
Jamal Wilkes, short, and Parrish is coming to the ball game. 0-0 replacing Malone. Other substitutions, Marcus Johnson in for Larry Bird. Moncrief misses, and Maurice Lucas, the power forward, the ultimate rebounder, to David Thompson.
The knee looks all right now.
15-point lead for the East with under 3 minutes remaining in the third period. And the West will trying to make a big run here so they can get set for the fourth period.
He just made little steps on that one.
Maurice Cheeks, you leave him open, he'll burn you. And he did there, only his second bucket. 99-82, the East in front. Larry Bird, by the way, on the bench now, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Candidate for MVP, you can say that. Kareem is 2 for the West. He has 12 points on a perfect shooting afternoon.
And Isaiah Thomas has had an outstanding game also.
Moncrief, he can come inside with any guard in the league and fight. They're going to call a jump ball. Looks like Thompson and Moncrief. Billy Cunningham had an interesting thing. He said, look, he says, if I find that someone's really trying to win the MVP award by shooting a lot, we're going to call a timeout and talk things over. He said, let's just let it happen. And it's happening for him.
Sure is.
Steve Stepanovich of the Missouri Tigers and Ralph Sampson of the Virginia Cavaliers be here next weekend for top college basketball. And there's Jamal Wilkes, as you see, top pro basketball here on CBS. Magic has 10 assists now, and the East lead is 13 points at 99-86, and we have 2 minutes now remaining in the third period. Marcus Johnson doesn't make it, and Kareem the rebound. Magic. Lucas. Tipped up and in by Magic Johnson. Magic and Kareem.
And this is a physical lineup that, except for Jamal Wilkes, he says it's a very physical lineup that the West squad has.
They're using all 3 Lakers in the lineup at the same time, Pat Riley is. West has scored 8 in a row. And Wilkes clears it. So it's 3 Lakers, Johnson, Wilkes, and Kareem, along with Lucas and David Thompson, with 1:15 remaining in the third period. West trying to make another run at the East. It's still going to be West ball out of bounds. And coming back in is Andrew Toney, a little offensive power for the East. Toney coming in, replacing Sidney Moncrief.
We'll see. Toney is a better outside shooter than Sidney Moncrief, and he may be just as physical.
Thompson lost it out of bounds, and so the inbound pass, one of the tough things to do in the game. A lot of people think it's automatic.
Because you have to realize that you have to always concentrate on the most important thing is get the ball first.
West. 8 in a row for the West. Harris turnaround over Kareem. Magic Johnson, the leading rebounder on the Lakers. That's right, a 6'9" guard, leads them in rebounds, threads it in, and it's intercepted. Toney was keeping an eye out for Wilkes. Parrish comes right back, and that's a big rally breaker. Big rally breaker. Wilkes is fouled. So they tried the old Magic Wilkes trick, and Toney intercepted.
Well, I think that the other guys are a little aware of those 2 guys working together. You know, when Magic got the ball, you better keep an eye on Wilkes.
35 seconds remaining, third period. It's 101-88. And on the line is Jamal Wilkes. The personal foul was Marcus Johnson. No one in any real foul trouble other than Gilmore with 4, who's on the bench right now. Jamal Wilkes, Rookie of the Year 8 years ago, NBA title with the Golden State Warriors.
Now, if the West can stop the East this time down and get another basket before the quarter, it's a real good ball game now, again, because the East threatened to go up and hide.
Tony playing him tough as Thompson. Marcus Johnson. Andrew, this is a 2-point shot. It's good. He was right on that line. So a 13-point lead, 13 seconds to go in the West.
That's a new guard for the West. The biggest guard in basketball.
Lucas throws it away. Inopportune turnover as Pat Riley turns his back. And now with 6 seconds, the East can make it 15 points. They can get the last shot. This is a 3-point attempt. No good by Andrew Toney. And that is the end of the third period here at the All-Star game. The East 103, the West 90. And we'll return to the Forum after this word from your local station. With Pettit and Hagan, Slater Martin. The East has out-rebounded the West 38-26 with their physical, burly style. Kareem with a hook shot at the baseline. And it's 103-92. The West, Kareem is perfect from the field. It's 7 for 7 in the game. Alex English is in the ball game for the West. And Jim Paxson, number 4, has come in. Cheeks remains at guard. The other guard with the ball right now is Toney. So 2 of the Philadelphia 76ers, their starters are in there now. Top of the key, Mo Cheeks. This is Kareem reaches high. Magic Johnson threads it to Alex English, the leading scorer in the NBA, has 2 in a foul, and Pat Riley's happy. English was 4th in scoring last year at nearly 25.5 points a game. He's just about at 30 points right now. He's played with Milwaukee, Indiana, Denver. It's English, Vandeweghe, and Issel. Good front line for Denver, a prolific offensive team.
I was about to say he has a real soft touch, but with that brick,
how come I say it and you avoid that?
I thought it, but I didn't say it.
9-point lead. Biggest was 19 at 99-80 for the East. Marcus Johnson to Parrish, trying to gamble his Magic for the steal, and there is a steal off the hands of Cheeks. Goes to Paxson, to Magic. It counts. Basket good. Dave Wall, one of Pat Riley's assistants, and Irvin Magic Johnson.
Now here's the steal here. Paxson picks up the steal, and he and Magic are going pretty good, and there goes Magic down the lane. One thing that Magic Johnson does as well as anyone in basketball, maybe the best in basketball at this point, is he finds the middle of the court. So he always gives himself a left and right-handed option.
6-point lead. Plenty of time to go. More than 10.5 minutes remaining. Listen to an all-star crowd yelling defense. Cheeks put a move on Magic. What a move by Mo Cheeks. He went right around him as if he weren't there.
He'll do that kind of thing.
105-97. Magic Johnson has 12 assists in the game. The all-star record is 14, set by Oscar Robertson in 1961. Lucas might have tipped that one. And that's a good call. Lucas tipped it over Cheeks.
And he tried to do a little referee in there. Almost worked.
He's been known for that. It's called gamesmanship as Gus Williams comes back in the game. Magic Johnson goes out. Keep in mind, he's 2 assists away from the all-star record set by Oscar Robertson in 1961. Robert Parrish, the chief, outside. Buck Williams, Marcus Johnson. And the starting 76er tandem in the backcourt of Toney with the ball now, and Mo Cheeks working on Paxson. Andrew Toney hit.
And Paxson actually hit the ball on that shot. So it was good defense, but Toney, what does he care about good defense?
4 for 5, outstanding shooter. One of those players that wants the ball. Stripped away. That was Cheeks with the steal. Toney picks it up. 4-on-2 break, and Parrish gets the 2. Mo Cheeks with the steal, and he has led the Sixers in steals every year he's been with the club.
And Robert Parrish is the best running center, I think, in basketball today.
And good outside shot, as we said, so he's versatile.
I should say for professional basketball, because there are a couple of big guys in college that can run pretty good, too.
Yes, we've heard about him. We have a timeout. 9:26 remaining, fourth period. It was 20 years ago, and this is how he did it. He can't do this anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
I sure can.
You can do that, baby. Bill Russell, MVP 20 years ago, accepting congratulations. And as Bill said, the career wouldn't have been complete without winning it. And someone today is going to capture that trophy, the MVP trophy, after the game, and we'll have coverage of that as well. So there's plenty to look forward to, and we'll have a foul against the East Star. 9:17 remaining in the fourth period. 109 to 97. They're getting ready for a rivalry, aren't they?
Old line fans.
East with a 12-point lead. Maurice Lucas misses it out of bounds, and it's going to be the East ball. Paxson didn't go after it. Thought it was last touched by an East player. There you're looking at the Brain Trust. Pat Riley, Jack Curran on the left, Bill Burke, his assistant for the West. Thomas and Irving, 19 points for the East. Bird has 14. The leading scorer for the West, Kareem, with 14. Magic, 13. Foul, and Parrish got inside and is hit.
Another good pass, because Tony knew the big guy was going to be there, because he can post up most guys. And so that when the center comes over, he's got good eyes. He can see all of the court much better than you would expect from a guy as a shooter, because most shooters have what you call tunnel vision, because all they can see is that hoop. Because you have to do that when you're going to take aim. So I remember talking to Bill Sharman when I was a young guy, talking about aiming. I said, what do you aim for? He says, the front of the back rim.
Easy for him to say.
Yeah. I couldn't even say it.
It was a dead eye. Alex English working against Marcus Johnson. Marcus covered the baseline well. Fine defense by Marcus. And it's going to be, should be East ball. But they give it to the West. And Billy Cunningham is...
Good acting job by Maurice Lucas. He just stepped outside like he assumed it was his ball.
All right, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going out of the ball game. He has scored 14 points, Kareem. And has 7 for 8 from the field. And Gilmore, with 4 fouls, replaces him. And Gus Williams gets the bucket, 110 to 99. They cut it to 6 at one point in the third period. Now it's an 11-point game, 8:26 to go. Coming back for more. Paxson on the left for Gus Williams, and he goes to Paxson. Goaltending.
Got to be goaltending, because he knocked it into the backboard.
That might have been Buck Williams. Was that Buck that knocked it against the glass? It was. So credit the bucket to Paxson, who has 6 in the game. And it's a 9-point lead for the East. So the West is making a run here.
With plenty of time.
Williams, Gus Williams overplaying the pass. Cheeks and Tony been in there a while. The 76er guards. Paxson knocks the ball away. 2-on-2. Gus Williams controlling. Gus took a bad shot. And the crowd lets him kind of know about it. Not that they wouldn't anyway, being a Seattle Sonic.
That's the way Gus has to play. He can't be inhibited. Because he gives instant offense. Like I said, it makes it easy to play defense when you don't have to worry about it.
Buck Williams crashing the boards, and Artis Gilmore clears. And you're right, some are not going to make it, and some are not good percentage shots, and others are. Gilmore fighting for the offensive glass, and the old schoolyard play by Buck Williams. Ray Melchiori, the Celtic trainer, serving the East squad, and Jack Curran, longtime trainer for the West, the Los Angeles Lakers.
He used to be a trainer for the Seattle Supersonics.
Isaiah Thomas is in the game now.
And the trainers love to do an all-star game because they don't have any complaints.
They're yelling basket. They didn't get it there. Ace ball. Paxson got too close inside. They're yelling magic. I'm sorry. They're yelling magic. Capacity crowd here at the Forum in Inglewood, where the Lakers are the reigning NBA champions. And they're going to get their wish. Tony Parrish foul. And here he comes back in the game.
And Lucas got kicked in the stomach.
Magic Johnson, who has 13 points and 12 assists, 2 short of the all-star record, is into the ball game now, replacing Gus Williams. There's the clock. Fourth period. 9-point East lead, and Parrish is on the line shooting 2. Personal was on Maurice Lucas. Now they're yelling, "We want Kareem."
They don't want much.
You know what? They may get him.
I think they will.
Under 7 minutes remaining in the 4th period. Magic Johnson and a steal by Parrish. Good anticipation. Parrish, and he's part of an East surge, and Pat Riley looking on, and a 13-point East lead again, and Parrish has scored 13.
Those steps by Alex English.
Lucas in the lane. Short. Tony. All the way. And Isaiah Thomas couldn't hold the pass. We're going to have
We might have held on to that one a little too long.
We have still more than half of the 4th period remaining, and it's a 13-point East lead, but the West got to come back with something, I think.
Defense.
Julius Erving is back in the ball game for the East squad. They've got Thomas and Tony in the backcourt. Marcus Johnson and Erving up front. Parrish, the center, who's done very well. Irvin Magic Johnson looking inside, and Alex English, the leading scorer in the NBA, is short with it. They're missing a lot of shots now, the West. And it's coming out of nowhere. Steal, Magic. Paxson. Blocked, and a foul. It's against Parrish.
I don't remember seeing a game with this many blocked shots. You know, in an All-Star game, most of the guys that get here because of their offensive reputation. But we just seen just so many blocked shots today, it's unbelievable. Because a lot of these guys are like Julius and Bird and Kareem, and guys like that are good defensive players.
Jim Paxson, who had a disappointing rookie year, now a team leader, sets the example, a complete player. Dad, of course, Bill played against him with Minneapolis and Cincinnati. Brother Jim, standout at Notre Dame. The West still has it. Magic to Paxson. You know, Magic Johnson told me at the workout yesterday, he says, you know, I admire a lot of the players here, but I like Paxson. He makes me work hard because he's always moving without the ball. Good compliment for the kid. 13 assists for Magic Johnson, one away from the NBA record. 114 to 104. 5.5 minutes remaining in the 4th period. 10-point lead. There's Isaiah Thomas off the mark. Lucas snares it.
You know, at this point, as far as these guys are concerned, this is no longer an All-Star game. This is a game we got to win.
And the follow-up by Alex English. And it's an 8-point game.
You know, because, you know, even in All-Star games, guys are trying to establish something psychologically on the players, on their teammates, and on the other team.
Marcus Johnson. That's interesting.
Because you can establish things that in the back of their minds that they won't ever forget.
Well, they'll never forget Magic Johnson's end-to-end foray. He is taking things in his own hands. 15 points. And now a chance to move it to within 6 points. Magic. Straight for the West, and Magic has hit his last 4 in a row. 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. Magic Johnson's bid for MVP honors. Larry Bird, meanwhile, has established his credentials as well. But Irvin Magic Johnson, who has 8 assists this half, to tie a record set by Bob Cousy and Oscar Robertson. Pretty good company indeed. And this... no violation. Bird kept his feet on the offensive side of the court. Moncrief goes in for the layoff and a big basket because the West had cut it to 6.
Good play by Isaiah Thomas. He penetrated, and when the defense dropped in as he knew he would, he was able to get a good pass off the Sidney Moncrief.
Thomas is having a fine game. Kareem is in the ball game. Jamal Wilkes will go in, so as we anticipated, Pat Riley's going with his Laker trio down the stretch. Kareem skyhook. And Bird Out to Isaiah Thomas. He's got Moncrief again inside. And the Julius Doctor. What a play. Keeps showing you more, doesn't he? Kareem. Again, Kareem foul. 3:33 remaining in the fourth period, and the East leading by 10 points. And here's Jamal Wilkes coming into the ball game for the West.
Today only happened for one reason, and that
Going out is Maurice Lucas. Bird has 4 personal fouls. Here's that play by Julius.
Right, and he gets the ball here and you don't say anything else.
Kareem misses the free throw. Let's see now. We've got Julius Erving and Malone of Philadelphia, along with Irving, Moncrief, and Isaiah Thomas. So 2 Sixers are out there and 3 Lakers with 3.5 minutes to go. 9-point lead for the East. They've been leading all the way, as much as 19 points. West tied it at 60. Then they upped it again and they cut it down to 6. Bird. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And a 3-point attempt is missed. And the East red shirts are all there inside, and Moncrief with a fine inside play. So Sidney Moncrief, 2 good inside shots and an 11-point game. Steele, Malone, Moncrief. Down the stretch, it's Sidney's game. 13-point lead. And now we're under 3 minutes to go. Paxson with a runner, gets 2 of them back.
Now the West needs to make a couple of defensive stops.
But they might also need, as we get down closer, Gervin for a 3-point play. Bird with a wild shot, but there's Moncrief and a new clock for the East. Bird, top of the key.
That's a real Pele shot. That was a header.
That was a header. Let's see who gets. They credited to Moncrief. Might as well credit it to Sidney Moncrief.
Well, it was his head that it went off of. He says you got to play defense no matter how I shoot it.
13-point lead. Jamal Wilkes comes back with 2. But the West, as you point out, so true, Bill, they're going to have to play defense here because they just can't trade baskets at this rate with less than 2 minutes to play. Magic has 14 assists in the game to tie Oscar Robertson's all-star record set 22 years ago. And here's a chance for the West to come back with 139. English. Magic. It's going to be Wilkes. Blocked by Malone. And Julius Erving at the other end. Timeout by the West. We're not going to see.
This is what you call a heads-up basketball here. Rebound comes. There's using the old head.
Well, you know, that MVP award is going to be pretty tight, I think.
Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. These guys have. And Sidney Moncrief has come on strong in the second half. So
George Gervin, the Iceman, with 8 points. Moses Malone out to Bird, using the clock with a minute to go. 128, 10-point lead. Isaiah Thomas blocked by Kareem, and it's the West ball.
He doesn't know how big those guys are. He just goes in there.
That's the 4th block shot by Kareem, who has 15 points and 6 rebounds. Shot is good and a foul, and they're coming back. 49 seconds. The clock is on the side of the East. And Magic Johnson has set a new NBA All-Star Game record with 15 assists, breaking the mark set by the great Oscar Robertson in 1961. And a 3-point play by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 128, 121, 48 seconds to go, and pressure defense for the first time. 45 seconds. 7-point lead. The West really has to shut the East down totally and get a couple of breaks. 12 seconds on the 24-second shot clock. 33 seconds in the game. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And that'll do it. If there was any chance the West had of coming back, the Doc took care of it.
That's a pretty good combination, Bird and Irving.
You think so? Kareem comes back with 2. 130 to 123, and the East 20 seconds away from making it 4 in a row. 4 straight victories in the All-Star game and opening up the overall margin to 22 to 11, doubling the West. Keep in mind, we're going to be having the All-Star selection and the interview with the MVP All-Star here. Foul is on George Gervin with 16 seconds to go. Smart thing to do when you're behind. You just want to stop the clock as much as you can.
Too late.
So we'll see what happens. Moncrief on the line has 18 points, 6 steals, and 4 assists. And he's really put away the West when they've come close at the end.
I can't recall seeing an All-Star game where this many different players had such outstanding games. You know, usually one guy will be, it'll all work for him, 1 or 2 guys, but so many players had outstanding games today. Moncrief and Magic, both in the second half, really came on strong, for example.
Moncrief has scored 10 points in this 4th period. Finals play of the game, and Bird tried to do a little alley-oop with the Falcons. It didn't work. And that's it. That's it. The East has won it. The East has won it 132 to 123. Julius Erving with 25 points. 20 for Moncrief, 19 for Thomas, 14 for Bird. For the East, Kareem had 20, Magic Johnson 17, and Johnson with 16 assists set a new NBA All-Star record. And no, the fans here enjoyed the games, and there's the Doctor and Magic All-Star game, 132 to 123. We're going to be back with the most valuable player of this 33rd annual All-Star game. But right now, let's send you back to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent. All right. Elegant statesman of professional basketball, Julius Erving of the Philadelphia 76ers. It's his 2nd MVP, and right here with me also is the commissioner of the NBA, Larry O'Brien. Larry?
Another great NBA All-Star game. I'm sure the fans here and across the country enjoyed it immensely. And a worthy winner of the Most Valuable Player Award, Julius Erving. Many awards and one more again. Julius, congratulations from all of us. It's just tremendous.
All right, and also with us is Senior Vice President of the Miller Brewing Company, Tom Shropshire. Some words to say, Tom.
On behalf of the Miller Brewing Company, I am pleased to salute you, Julius, for winning, being selected the 1983 Best Player of the NBA game. On behalf of Miller High Life, we're going to donate a $2,000 check in your name to the Special Olympics.
That's terrific. Julius, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here, and that's nice of Tom. And Commissioner O'Brien, this is your 2nd MVP award, 1977. We were here yesterday at practice. Tell us what happened. You have all your kids here and turquoise as well. What'd they say?
Well, I did about 4,000 interviews yesterday. But upon leaving, my son said that that's a beautiful trophy over there, and I like the blue. Maybe we could take it home. And I said, this is not what the game is about. It's about coming and playing hard. And there are going to be a lot of outstanding performances. The MVP is something that, you know, the players don't talk about getting in the locker room. It's something that, you know, the fans select and the committee selects. So I feel very, very fortunate to have won it. But I didn't plan on doing it.
Well, I know Billy said, look, let's not think of the MVP award. Let's just play and let it take care of itself. What energizes you to perform the way you do? I know you've been doing things like this for years in the All-Star game, first in the ABA and now in the NBA, where you always rise to the occasion in this kind of a form.
Well, Dick, I think, you know, the Lord has blessed me with tremendous basketball ability, and I think I owe it to him, and I owe it to the public, the fans, and my family, and the club that I'm representing to go out and play as hard as I can each time I step on the hardwood. And I think that attitude has a contagious effect. It has a contagious effect on your teammates, and certainly they have that type of an effect on you. On days when you don't feel like doing it, you know, you see a guy out there working hard and with the right attitude, and you just get caught up in it. So it works both ways, and there's a lot of reciprocity there. So, you know, that's why it happens. And this game, you know, people say it's a showcase. Guys come out to just display their skills. You know, they're not here to just show up and play basketball. They're here to win. They're here to work hard, and they're representing a lot of people, not only the fans, but their clubs back home and their families back home.
The one thing you said yesterday, Julius, is that it's a fun time, but the only time you have fun is when you're working up a sweat and having a good time. There were so many people that could have won this award. I mean, Bill Russell was saying, I've never seen a game where so many people, Moncrief, Bird, Isaiah Thomas, plus yourself.
Right, and Magic Johnson played great, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played great. So it, you know, could have gone to a lot of different people, but, you know, as you guys said, there's only going to be one winner. But, you know, we got to get back to work on Wednesday, and the real McCoy will be the regular season and the playoffs.
All right,
so that's
you,
the big one that we're going after.
Congratulations. Magic Johnson set an all-time assist record for the NBA. Thank you to Tom Shropshire and Commissioner Larry O'Brien. And right now, we want to tell you that the executive producer of NBA basketball on CBS is Ted Shaker. Our game producer, Michael Burks. Fine job by everyone in our production truck. Sandy Grossman, our director, and Marty Aronoff, our right-hand man. Outstanding job as well. Thanks to everyone that had a role. And that's the story here from the Forum in Inglewood, California, where the East has won its 4th in a row, and Julius Erving, the MVP, 132 to 123 to final. Right now, let's send you back to New York and Brent.
The 1983 NBA All-Star Game, held on February 13th at the Forum in Inglewood, California, was more than just a star-studded exhibition. It was a celebration of legacy, leadership, and the growing spectacle of professional basketball. Taking place in the home of the Los Angeles Lakers, the game symbolically and physically placed the NBA's spotlight on one of its most storied franchises and arenas. By now, the All-Star Game had become a must-watch event, and 1983 delivered both on and off the court. The Western Conference, playing in front of a supportive hometown crowd, featured marquee names such as Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Alex English, George Gervin, and Jack Sikma. With the game taking place in LA, the duo of Magic and Kareem was the emotional center of the Western squad. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference brought serious firepower, including Larry Bird, Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Isaiah Thomas, and Sidney Moncrief. The East was beginning to dominate the league in terms of team success, with the Celtics, 76ers, and Pistons all building strong rosters. The East won the game 132 to 123, but it wasn't just the score that stood out. The MVP of the night was Julius Dr. J. Erving, who dazzled with 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals, providing a vintage performance that reminded fans why he had been one of the most influential players in modern basketball history. Erving's mix of athleticism, grace, and court presence captivated the crowd, and his MVP award was not just recognition of his performance that night, but a tribute to his enduring legacy in the sport. The game itself struck a rare balance between competitiveness and showmanship. The tempo was fast, with plenty of highlight plays, but there was also a clear desire among the players to win. This was particularly evident in the fourth quarter, when the East, led by Erving and Malone, clamped down defensively and sealed the game with crucial stops and strong interior play. One of the most emotional subplots of the 1983 game was the inclusion of Ralph Sampson, the towering college phenom from the University of Virginia, who had been invited as a special guest. Though he didn't play, his presence symbolized the NBA's commitment to its future stars and hinted at the growing influence of college players on the league's next generation. This subtle nod toward youth development would grow into the NBA's investment in future draft stars and global talent. television broadcasts of the game reflected the NBA's growing confidence and media presence. Commentary focused not just on the action, but on the personalities, rivalries, and the broader narrative arcs of players and teams. Magic versus Bird, Dr. J's lasting greatness, Moses Malone's dominance in the paint. The storylines had matured, and fans were hooked not just on skill, but on character. Looking back, the 1983 All-Star Game was a pivotal moment in the All-Star tradition. It stood at the crossroads of two generations, players like Irving and Kareem nearing the end of their primes, while figures like Bird, Isaiah, and Magic were beginning to take over the league's cultural identity. The MVP award for Dr. J was poetic, a nod to the past in a game that clearly belonged to the future. It was also one of the last All-Star games before the NBA exploded into the global spotlight with the rise of Michael Jordan, the 1984 draft class, and a new level of international attention. In this way, 1983 was a final bow for an era with elegance, respect, and competitive fire.
Hey guys, in case you have missed all the great tapes from back in the days, check these out. All will be on our channel.
Now, for the first time ever, you can get airtime and come fly with me together for only $29.98, showing you a side of Michael that you've never seen before. Capture his amazing plays forever. Act now, and you'll also receive this exclusive limited edition career retrospective, highlighting Michael's spectacular achievements. Take it home for yourself, or buy it as a gift for your favorite Michael Jordan fan. Michael Jordan gift pack is available for only $29.98 wherever NBA videos are sold, or call 1-800-NBA-DUNK.
After enjoying all the spectacular action of the NBA Finals, you'll know who reigns as NBA champs. Now go behind the scenes to find out where, when, and how they did it.
Call a 10 defense.
All this with the official 1996 NBA Finals video. Nothing gets you closer to the NBA Finals. Order yours now. Call toll-free 1-888-8-GET-NBA.
Jim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond team up to host NBA Grooves.
What kind of music you like? Man, I like all type of music.
It's a music video tour of the NBA.
You are in the groove, baby!
With lots of NBA action, mixed up with hot music from Blackstreet, Republica, Shaq, Yvette Michelle, and more. NBA Grooves. In stores now, through NBA.com or by calling 1-800-NBA-HOOPS. From NBA Video.
There is a magic within them, a legendary quality. They are men of miracles. Fly with them in this extraordinary new video, NBA Legacy, Living Legends to Rising Stars. You also get the officially licensed NBA team sweatshirt of your choice. Both the authentic sweatshirt and the video are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. NBA Legacy traces a line of superstars as greatness is passed from one generation to the next. You also get a great-looking heavyweight sweatshirt featuring the colorful logo of your favorite NBA team. No matter which team it is, it's free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get NBA Legacy plus the team sweatshirt of your choice, both free from Sports Illustrated. It's a sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.